Close Next, I would then select all the reports that I wish to run at the same time. And I can do this by selecting and checking the reports from the All Reports window. I can also use ungroup reports or one particular report group. I can also make changes to the date ranges on the TEC reports as needed, and then I can select Display or Print. If I select Display, it will result in all the reports showing in QuickBooks. And as you can see, I then can click between them. If I select Print, it will result in all the reports printing to my chosen printer. Now, please don't worry if you think you won't remember all this information that I'm telling you about today. There is a step-by-step handbook that you can download to use as a reference in your office later on. Now I'm going to show you how to export and import memorized report templates. Now, once a report resides on the memorized report list, its template may be exported from QuickBooks Premier 2012 and saved as a QBR file to be used on other data files. By importing that QBR file into other QuickBooks company files and even Pro or Premier 2012. Let's go back to the Memorized Report list by clicking on Reports, Memorized Reports, and then Memorized Report List. So in this example, I'm going to export a memorized report. Once the report resides on the memorized report list, I can highlight the report by clicking on it. What I can then do is, once I've selected it, by selecting it is click on the Memorize Report button at the bottom of the list and choose Export Template. I can then browse to the location of where I want this report to be saved. I can also make any changes to the name of the QBR file. I'll then select Save. As you can see, that has now been saved for me. Let me show you now, though, how we'd actually import a memorized report. So once again for this, I click on the memorized report, choose Import Template, and once again, I can browse the location, choose the one that I want to import, and then I can press Open. What I can then do is I'm offered to change the name of the report or its name, or alternatively, as desired, I can change the group of where I want this saved as well. So I'm going to choose Sarah's report and click on OK. That has then been entered into my QuickBooks Premier 2012. Now, there may be a report that you use several times a day. It therefore may be worthwhile for me to put this report in the icon bar at the top of the screen. This would allow me to open it straight away as and when required. So to do this, let's first of all go into Reports. I'm going to go down to Sales, and I'm going to choose Daily Sales Summary. Now that the report is displayed, I can click on the button here which says View, and I can then select Add Daily Sales Summary to the icon bar. What I can then do is I can label this as I want it to be shown. I can also change the description if I wanted to. What I can then do is click on OK. And as you can then see, that is now shown on the icon bar. So I can easily access this as and when I need to throughout the day. Let's now have a look at how item-based reports work in QuickBooks Premier 2012. While QuickBooks does a wonderful job of reporting on financials, reporting based on items in the item list can provide much more detailed information. For example, they provide us with sales information that we need. A key advantage of using items instead of the general ledger accounts to track things we sell is that we don't have to clutter up the chart of accounts with numerous sales accounts. Instead, we can have maybe one or two and track the detail of what we sold via items. Let's have a look at this now. I'm going to go into Reports, Sales, and Sales by Item Summary. What I can do for that date range is, as you can see, I can see exactly how much item was sold. We can also see the quantities as well as amounts, as well as the percentage of sales as well. A similar report on purchases can show the quantity and value of each item purchased. Using items on both sales and purchase transactions can provide valuable reports, and in the case of stock items, stock reports can be produced as well. These stock reports provide much more information than the stock values on the balance sheet. One quick way of finding transactions to which you have very little detail is to use the Find function and simply enter the fields to which you do not have information. You can access this feature by selecting Edit and then select Find. Now from here, you can choose either to do a Simple tab or Advanced tab. I'll show Advanced in just a moment. Now in the Simple tab, I can select the transaction type, so for example, invoice, and then a combination of other details, for example, customer, job, date range, document number, and amount. I'm going to choose one of my companies, and once I've done that, I would select Find. As you can see, those transactions will then appear for me. Alternatively, you may want to use the Advanced section. Now in this section, I can highlight one or more fields for which I have information, and then once again, I can select Find. For example, I could actually select the date and then the week to date as well. In either case, the transactions will then be found, and they'll then be listed on the lower part of the screen. Now at this point, what I can do is I can just double click or click and then press the Go To button on the selected transaction for me to go to that transaction there. Alternatively, if I wanted to see a report of these matching transactions, I'd select Report. And then finally, if I press the Export button, I can also export this list to Excel as well. I'm going to have a look at the Export to Excel in just a moment. The Find option is great. However, there may be times when you may not be familiar with too many of the transactions or names in a client's QuickBooks company file. Therefore, the QuickBooks search function will help locate any transactions or list names that match the amount or text you enter. So to access this, I would do the following. I would go to Edit, and then I would click on Search. Now in this example, I'm going to use that I want to search for BT. I'd simply type in BT in the text field at the top, and then I can click on the magnifying glass here. The results are then grouped by transactions and various lists. As you can see, I can double click and it then provides up further information if required. Also, if I hover over my mouse, you'll see here the list makes clickable icons appear, for example, enabling the user to open, edit, or even enter in a transaction as well. We are now into the final part of our webinar. I'm going to show you how to amend preferences to make reporting even more useful. Within this section, I'm also going to show you the Excel integration features and cover the financial statement designer as well. When a report or graph has been built and is open in QuickBooks, while new transactions are being entered, the information in that report may change depending on what those new transactions are. If the new transactions would change, the information in a report that is currently open, each user would determine whether the report would refresh with the new data automatically.